Biden's press secretary leaves the Democratic Party in time to sell her book. Let's take a listen to the lesbian. And you think I'm being degrading during Pride Month. By the way, Pride Month doesn't exist anymore. It's just the month of the Sacred Heart of our Lord and Savior. But every time you talk to her, she always would identify that was the leading character as a black woman who's a lesbian. That was how she always prefaced everything. So guess what? She wanted to use that as her defining characteristic. I'm going to call it out. Let's see what the lesbian has to say.
And I am the author of a new book that's coming out this fall called Independent. It's coming out on October 21st, so please do grab it. And the reason I wrote this book coming out of
the reason I wrote this book is because I need money. The reason I wrote this book is because I need money. And I'm trying to get on Fox News, or I'm trying to get invited to TPUSA, TPUSA as their latest, latest ambassador and or speaker. I'm trying to get on the grifting circuit. I'm trying to do all these other kinds of things.
White House. Serving as White House press secretary was an honor and a privilege. But
she lied every single day. Sorry, she's not going to get through. She lied every single day. Every single day she lied. And she made a mockery out of that office or out of that position every day. And now we're all just supposed to be like, oh, okay, now that you've left the Democratic Party, we're all just supposed to shut up and go, okie dokie. And guess what? It's going to work. It's going to work, ladies and gentlemen. She's going to get on Fox News. She's going to get on TPUSA. She's going to get on one of these other things. You're right. She does.
The people that come up to me, strangers that come up to me just across the country as I'm traveling, and sometimes right in my neighborhood, at a grocery store, supermarket, airport, my daughter's school, the number one question they ask me is, Karine, how do we get out of this?
No, I doubt anybody's asking this lesbian who made it a mission to cover for an aging skin suit of a man. Wait, whose name Richard? Is that the kid's name? I don't even know. Anyway. Oh, is that the person who comes up to her? I just come up to her, ma'am. Anyway, she comes up. Every day she participated in deceiving the public on Joe Biden's health or on what was going on, who was in charge, all of these other things. Not a soul. I guarantee you there's not a soul that's running up to her asking, how do we get out of this? Because she put us in it.
How do we protect our democracy? How do we protect vulnerable communities among us? What do we do next? Because we don't have answers here.
And why would we ask a lady whose only qualifying characteristic is that she's a lesbian? Like what qualifies you to answer said question? You weren't a politician. You don't have any experience except lying. What did she do when she went to, let's see, what'd she do for schooling? She graduated from Kellenberg. No, that's a high school. Where did you do? The New York Institute of Technology. You went to the New York Institute of Technology and you got a master's in public affairs from Columbia. Probably a DEI admission. So what is your qualification, Karine? What is your qualification to get us out of this besides lying and being a lesbian?
That's what they ask me. And this is my answer.
Buy my book, which, by the way, buy my book. Everybody has a book to sell.
And what I mean by that is, in an era of misinformation, disinformation, the regressiveness of social policy.
How can she even say that with a straight face in an era of misinformation and disinformation? Lady, you are the misinformation. You are the disinformation. You're the one who did it.
See what we're seeing currently right now. What I have decided to do, and I really have thought long and hard about this.
You've been out of a job for like 3 weeks. It's June. You've been out of a job for 5 months. How were you able to write a book in 5 months? She didn't. Somebody ghost writ. There's a very people don't realize with these books. People worry about AI, but somebody who writes a book with AI is just as is doing the same thing that all of these politicians, all of these celebrities do. There's a company, and I know because my financial advisor actually told me this once. He's like, you should be able to write a book. There's a company, you pay them like $4,000. They come, they interview you, they put a tape recorder in, they ask you about your life, they plot out the major points, you give them any information you want, and boom, they'll write a book for you. There are professional ghostwriters, there are ghostwriting companies, which means she also probably started this process, in November and December as well. She did not write this book. Somebody else wrote this book for her, and now she's going to pretend like she sat down and did this. And so it's absolutely, yeah, that Muppet did not write that book.
Is to follow my own compass.
Your compass is like Jack Sparrow's from Pirates of the Caribbean. It only points towards the money. Don't give me this, let your conscience be your guide. First of all, you engage in unnatural acts, so your moral compass is already frayed to begin with. Secondly, we have 4 years of you lying through your teeth every single day. So that's the second question of your moral compass. The third one is, as soon as it's financially viable, you're dumping the Democratic Party to be an independent so you can make all the grifting rounds. She'll be on Timcast in 6 months.
And that's what I've done. And that's what this book does. And here's the truth. And here's how I will lay it out to you. I think we need to stop thinking in boxes and think outside of our boxes.
So are you going to stop introducing yourself as a black lesbian? Because that's what you do every single time. You're a black lesbian. That's how you qualify yourself in every discussion. And she will qualify herself in every discussion and in every interview with that qualifier. So she puts herself in those check boxes to begin with.
And not be so partisan. And the way that I see moving forward in this space that we're in right now is, if you are willing to stand side by side with me,
I won't right now. I guarantee I will not stand side by you. Are a liar. You pushed out you defended policies that you knew would hurt the middle class and average Americans. You stood by while the border was overrun for 4 years, and you repeated the lie that the border has never been more safe and secure, and that Joe Biden's in top mental health every day. So I will not stand shoulder to shoulder with you. Not at the least. And I won't stand next to somebody who uses identity politics to get what they want.
Regardless of your how you identify politically, and as long as you respect the community that I belong to. And
she just said she didn't want to be put in boxes. Now she's talking about the community she belongs to. She can't even get this announcement right. She can't even get the announcement right without qualifying where she belongs, in the communities and in the boxes and all these other kinds of nonsensical things.
Vulnerable communities that I respect. I will be there with you. I will move forward with you.
I don't want you to move forward with me. I'd rather have an actual Muppet. I'd rather be in a foxhole with Oscar the Grouch. I'd rather be in a foxhole with Snuffleupagus than be in a foxhole or stand shoulder to shoulder with her. Because she's going to stab you in the back at the first chance she gets.
I think so important. So this book, Independent, it's about looking outside of boxes, not.
Remember, she just said the community I belong to. So are you looking outside of boxes, or are you using that is that the best, the slogan that tested the best? Is that the best one?
Just always being in a partisan stance. And how do we move forward together in a compassionate way? In a way that really, truly cares about people. October 21st.
Buy my book. I can't say it. I want to say it, but I can't say it. Anyway, this is from dnyuz.com. Biden's White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, has decided she's not a Democrat anymore, pointing to the party's betrayal of President Joe Biden as her rationale. We have that too. Check this out.
Personally, I think what was the toughest thing to see in the 3 weeks was there was a disconnect for me, what was happening with leadership in the Democratic Party and how it was truly, as my former colleague, communications director Ben LeBolt said, it was a firing squad. And I had never seen anything like it before. I'd never seen a party do that in the way that they did. And it was hurtful and sad to see that happening. A firing squad around a person who I believe was a true patriot, a person who I believe did everything that he can for this country.
She's still lying. This was in February. She's still lying about Joe Biden's health. She's still lying about it. This is before Jake Tapper's book came out.
A person who I believe, as I mentioned before, has done more in one term than most presidents had done in 2 terms, historical things. And I was shocked by what I was seeing.
And Karine, just to clarify, these are other Democrats and Democratic leadership coming out against Biden.
Yep, I had never seen anything like that. That was, if you're asking me, the thing that I saw in those 3 weeks, that was shocking. Shocking. And instead of coming together to really be unified and trying to figure out how do we save our democracy, how do we fight back, that's what I was seeing. And, that's what we decided to do for 3 weeks. And, it was truly, truly unfortunate. And I think it hurt us more than I think folks realized to have done that.
And I know we're coming, and thank you so much.
Whatever. She's lying there. She's lying in the announcement, but it doesn't matter, guys. It doesn't matter. I'm going to tell you exactly what this is going to do. She is going to get on this press circuit. Here we go. Happened today. Brandon Straka from the Walk Away movement, right? He's a former liberal. He's a guy who voted for Trump. Karine Jean-Pierre announces a decision to hashtag walk away from the Democratic Party. I'd love to interview you about this. There it is. There it is. Let the grift begin. Let it begin. Let the grift begin. Let her go on all. She's going to be on Megyn Kelly. She's going to go on Hannity. She's going to go on all of them. She'll promote the book and nobody will ask her any of the tough questions. They're going to go, oh, I think it's so great that you left the Democratic Party and now you're in independent. And, what was it like being in that White House? And they're all, honestly, I think this is a coordinated campaign between Jake Tapper's book and her. We could possibly start to see in the next couple months the blame starting to be shifted towards Jill. I kid you not. I think this is a Democratic op to start pushing the blame towards Jill Biden. I really do. Because that's the only person that could actually take be set up for this blame, for making him continue to run. Because they won't go after Kamala, because Kamala is still, for some reason, a front runner for the 2028 nomination. Probably just because, people there's nobody else to talk to. But the fact of the matter is, it's working. Republicans and conservatives are already going to embrace. Oh, you've walked away. How? Shut up. No, she hasn't. She's got a book to sell, you idiot. This time next year, June 4th of 2026, when the midterms are coming, she's going to go right back to the Democratic Party and she's going to go right back to promoting the values and all the things that are completely at odds with conservatives. She's going to be around just long enough to push this book. Nobody's going to buy it because the reaction has to be this. People have to look at this for what it is, which is a complete and total job. All of this. That's right. That's right. James O'Keefe just exposed Jill's chief of staff. And I think this book and a lot of other things are going to start pushing, towards her. Why was he there? He had cancer, all these other things. Because right now the light is on and they're all scattering like cockroaches. These books just happen to be in the press. It happen to be in the pipeline. And she'll use the car wash and her rounds on the interview circuit to distance herself from Jill, because the question about Jill will come up. And I think she's going to take that opportunity to try and distance herself from it. But all this is, it's a grift. She's gonna be invited to conservative conferences. She's gonna go on every conservative show. She's gonna go on Patrick Bet-David, who I can't stand, but she's gonna go on there. She's gonna go on all these places, and she's gonna talk about how she's an independent now, and that we need to work together, and we need to find common cause, and we need to save our democracy. Even though we're not a democracy, we're a republic. The word democracy does not exist in the U.S. Constitution, but fine, whatever. That phrase never came up, and people, the conservative movement loves this. This is great. They all have a brand new person Benny Johnson will have her on his show. They'll all talk to her. They're all buddy. They're all in the same club. You and I just aren't in it. And it's pathetic. And the fact that she was able to do this, and the fact that she's able to make money from it, and the fact that it is going to make her money, and it's going to get her set up on a show. Somebody on X replied to me and said she'll be on Fox News within 6 months. I think he said 6 months. I guarantee it. That's what this book is designed to do. She probably didn't get any offers from, Jen Psaki Toomey, right? She's got a job on MSNBC. She got a show. CNN probably didn't offer her a job. The View probably didn't offer her a job. None of these places offered her a post-White House gig, which is all these people want. They want to find a way to keep the money flowing. So, yeah, she's got this book, and that book will be used for speaking fees. That's what you get, a book so you can get on the talk. You get on a book so you can get on the speaking circuit. That's really what it is. A book is done so you can promote it to go speak somewhere. She'll have speaking fees. They won't be exorbitant. She'll make like $5,000, $10,000 a speaking fee. She'll go around. This book is a flare to get her a job somewhere. That's all it is. Either on the speaking circuit, on Fox as a regular contributor, one of these places, maybe a podcast, something to get her more work. Because she doesn't care about any of this. She couldn't even make that statement a continuous thing. She couldn't make sense out of it. She talked about not putting people into boxes or anything. And then she said, but the community identify, which is a box. Because you're saying, well, I'm from this community. That's the box I belong to. And so it's absolutely pathetic. It's not even pathetic. I'm not shocked. And I said it in the intro, in the opening here to Rickcast, that there needs to be a moratorium of at least 10 years for anybody in a government position, whether you're a cabinet member, if you worked in the administration, like anybody that's in the current Trump administration, they shouldn't be able to write a book about their experience in the Trump administration for 10 years until 2038. Nobody's going to care in 10 years about your 3 months at the Pentagon or whatever the case may be. And it will dissuade people, if that's the right word, from doing this, from well, of course, the capitalists and the libertarian, she have the right to capitalize on her time. No, she shouldn't. If you work in the government, you're supposed to be serving. It's a service, right? You're supposed to be serving the people of this union and not anything else. So, people in the chat are talking pretty correctly. Yeah, Lou, she was bad at her job. Peter Ducey lit her on fire every single day, figuratively, YouTube, figuratively. And she did not react well to his questions. It's probably, and Crotchy Elder says, probably why she hasn't gotten a job at NBC. But Fox will put her on in a second. Let's mark it. It's June 4th in the fall when they announce new shows. She's either going to be a full-time contributor on like the 5, or she's going to have some kind of recurring role on some Fox show, or she might even have a show on one of the networks, because that's all this book is for. Or she'll get a job on the speaker circuit. So that's what this is designed for. She doesn't care about any of it. And that's why she's an independent now, because it'll be easier for her to go on Fox. Oh, I used to be a Democrat, but now I'm an independent. When she goes in that voting booth, she's voting Democrat. Let's not even get it twisted. Let's not get it twisted. She votes Democrat every time she goes in that booth. And I don't think there's anybody, unless you have an IQ that is above lukewarm soup, thinks that anything different. All right. Yeah. So obviously I had things to say about that. And it's just, it really, the thing that really gets me is the grift. And the fact that the grift continues. And it's almost like we accept it. Oh, yeah, here she goes. She's going to go on the speaking circuit, blah, 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 blah. All right.